Today we'll be looking at the effects that Mise-en-Scene plays in helping tell the narrative in a few scenes of Disney Pixar's animated feature WALL-E. To begin, we'll be looking at one of the opening scenes that displays WALL-E in his home environment on the trash-filled wasteland Earth. To emphasize the effect that the trash has on the Earth, Disney Pixar made an effort to create a setting filled with dull and diluted colors and characters. WALL-E, his surroundings, and his possessions are covered with a haze of dust and dirt to emphasize the feel of the wasteland setting. The inside of WALL-E's small shack is the only sign of color in the entire scene. Inside his shack, there's a highly noticeable fluctuation of the color red. This color is used to symbolize the fact that WALL-E's character is compassionate even though he may be a robot. The emphasis on color in WALL-E's shack is extended when WALL-E turns on the video on the iPod. This scene is from the musical Hello Dolly and is filled with vibrant colors which represents the life that the Earth was once full of. As WALL-E tries his best to imitate the human animations from Hello Dolly, an interesting composition occurs within the shack. Previously in the scene, there had been access to the outside world as WALL-E entered his shack and the door was left open. The new framing of the shot emphasizes an effect of seclusion and order in WALL-E's life as he is severed from the outside world and the scene becomes perfectly symmetrical. The two rows of WALL-E's collectibles frame the occurring action in the scene as WALL-E is at a perfect diagonal to the iPod, mirroring the scene from Hello Dolly. If you pay attention to the color motifs, the woman in the scene in Hello Dolly is also wearing a deep shade of red, creating the connection between WALL-E's red items in his shack, the figure of a woman, and his trait of compassion. It looks like WALL-E's gonna want to save this scene for later. This second scene comes from a time a little later in the movie after WALL-E has been acquainted with a female robot named Eve. WALL-E has chased Eve back to her home aboard the Axiom and is searching for her. In this scene, the setting once again plays a major role in portraying the narrative. In contrast to the first scene, the setting is full of light and shades of white. There is a sense of cleanliness in this scene, which is emphasized by this small cleaning robot named Mo. The sense of space in this scene is much more confined than the previous scene as WALL-E is now trapped on the Axiom in outer space.
Sorry to terminate.
As the scene progresses, the space slightly widens, but still remains confined within the setting of the scanning room. Looks like Mo's getting a little mad about WALL-E's mess. Though the overall setting in this scene is more confined than the overall setting in the previous scene, the two scenes can be related based on how WALL-E occupies the space. WALL-E is once again framed in a symmetrical scene by the Eve units around him. As the other robots approach, the scene widens and WALL-E's demanding presence is reduced to signify the anxiety of the moment. A code green? It looks like something big is about to happen. As shown throughout the two scenes, the mise-en-scene in Disney Pixar's WALL-E was well crafted to help engineer and drive the narrative of the film as a whole.
Sorry to terminate.